Lilo and Stitch live action, but after somebody ruined the ending for me, I will not be going.
Still go see the movie. Trust me, still go see the movie. Listen, I've been seeing all the TikTok videos too. I've watched the reviews, and I have seen people that are saying that, oh, it's not the same movie. They've changed this and that, and they ruined the ending. But no, listen, I heard all of the same stuff too. And I was going to go watch Sinners today, but I get to the theater, realized I screwed up my movie times, and I was like, great, what else is playing? So I was like, all right, we're going to go see Lilo and Stitch, which conveniently I did wear my Stitch sweater. So I went and watched it, and you know what? All the complaints that people are making really are not as bad as what they're making it out to be. Like, listen, I cried. I cried like 3 times at least during this movie. And I have my complaints. Listen, Zach Galifianakis was great when he's Zach Galifianakis, but as soon as you see Jumbo, like the doctor, as the alien, I expected a Russian accent to be coming out of his mouth. Like, I kept hearing that in my head, and to hear Zach Galifianakis' voice coming out, it bothered me. But I didn't mind Pleakley. I did notice that even though they couldn't put the dress on him, they did at one point put him in some outfits that were pretty hilarious, and one that was very feminine looking and kind of like the type of outfit a woman would wear if she was in Hawaii. So they still kind of snuck in the funniness of that. I didn't mind the guy that was playing Pleakley. Actually, I think I like the human version than the alien version of him. He was weirdly like wet looking, which kind of bothered me. But anyway, overall, like the changes that they made more sense for this, modernized version of it anyways. And I know that's weird to say because at the time that it came out, it was still a modern movie. It's not a fairy tale, right? But for example, okay, so Lilo and the little girl don't get into a massive fight. She bumps into her at one point. They are mean to her or whatever. At the beginning, one girl bumps into her, and Lilo, instead of jumping on her and attacking her or whatever, just pushes her off the stage, which is a normal little girl reaction, right? It's still going to get her in trouble. It's still going to show that she's having difficulty dealing with these mean little girls without making her like suddenly into this violent, crazy little, which it's live action. It's a little bit harder for Disney to kind of get away with some of this stuff, right? It didn't change who Lilo is. She's still quirky. She's still full of funny little, this grieving little girl doesn't understand how to deal with her emotions and stuff. They just didn't make her as, I think, dark as what she is in the original, which I don't really feel that was like a huge change. I think it was more appropriate for a live action. They decided to, instead of having Cobra Bubbles be the social worker who used to be a CIA agent, instead what they did is they took Tia Carrera, who was originally the voice of Nani. They made her the social worker, and then they have Cobra Bubbles playing a CIA agent who infiltrates the family by pretending to be a social worker or a supervisor for Tia Carrera's character, whose name escapes me right now. The thing is that if you watch the original Lilo and Stitch, the moment when Cobra Bubbles is basically telling Nani that he's going to take Lilo away, he's yelling at her, he's screaming at her, which really, when you think about it, was not appropriate in the movie. She was trying her best, and he acts like a complete and utter jerk. I liked the change in character because the social worker that Tia Carrera plays is softer, more understanding. She's talking to Nani, letting her know that, like, listen, I know you're trying your best, but you just cannot do this on your own. Like, this is going to be better for you and Lilo. So it's not like everyone's getting mad because they're like, oh, Nani would have never have given up Lilo in the original movie, and I kind of thought that too. And then I see this movie and I watch it and I go, no, this makes sense. They're basically telling her, like, listen, you can fight this, but it's not going to make a difference. Like, it's better for you just to figure out better circumstances. And they work with Nani in the end and find a suitable place that she can still see Lilo and spend time with her. And it's just, she ends up with the neighbor who happens to be David. David, it's his grandmother, who is already in Lilo's life, is already helping take care, but she's just like, Nani is so determined to do everything herself that she's not asking for a lot of help, right? So she didn't give up Lilo. Anybody who says that, no, she didn't give her up. She put Lilo into a stable situation so she could go off to college, and Lilo still has access to her. Like, literally at the end of the movie, there's like this portal gun that they're using throughout the movie, which was a cute little add-on. Nani has the portal gun and can see Lilo anytime. They're just not living together. That's it. Nani goes off to college, which is a more realistic viewpoint, right? Because in the original movie, like, everything was on Nani. She barely even asked David for help, which is just really not realistic. So I like the inclusion of the grandmother character. I liked the inclusion of the new social worker. It actually works out despite what everyone is saying. I think it works out well. Now, did they miss a few things in terms of jokes? Yeah, like, I kind of missed the fact that they didn't bring back around the mosquito joke, where, you know, Cobra Bubbles admits that he convinced the aliens that the mosquitoes were an endangered species, and that's why Earth is now a protected mosquito sanctuary. Yeah, they missed that joke. Did I miss Pleakley wearing the cross-dressing? Yeah, kind of. But again, they still had him being quirky and funny, and I still liked it. They didn't have Captain Gontu. What they did is instead they ended up making the doctor, the alien Dr. Jamba. They make him the bad guy in the end. He's the one that ends up taking off with Stitch, threatening that he's gonna, like, disassemble him and make him into a new one. For time and money, I guess they just figured they couldn't, and they decided to get rid of one character so they wouldn't have to CGI a bunch with him, and they just put it, like, I understand that sometimes choices are made because it just flows better. Do I miss the fact they didn't have Captain Gontu? Yes. But God knows what he would have looked like, right? Maybe his character model looked terrible, and they just couldn't figure out a good way to make him look good, right? I mean, we've seen what the original Stitch looked like, and they had to change that. So sometimes wishing for things that should have been put in, maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe we don't know what he would have looked right? I mean, they did a great job on the rest of the aliens. I mean, Jumbo still looked like Jumbo. Pleakley, like I said, there's this, like, weird wet thing. I don't know. Wasn't that great. But, like, the stuff that they changed was not massive. Like, I was still heartbroken, crying, watching that Nani was going to have to walk up and have that conversation with Lilo and let her know that she was going to have to go live with somebody else. You know, I still cried when I was watching the scene when they're in the hammock. It was still all well done. Yes, did they take out some stuff? Like, I wish they had to put the ugly little duckling thing back in there. I don't know why they took that out. But it's still a good movie. And the thing is that, and everybody really needs to remember this, when movies get remade, the original Lilo and Stitch is still fucking there. All right? You can turn it on anytime you want. If you got a physical copy, if you got Disney Plus, it is still there. It has not taken away, because the original movie is still there. If you didn't like this version, okay, fine, go watch the original. But I think too many people are, like, quick to freak out because things are missing from this movie and just won't go see it. Go and see it. I almost did not see this, and I would have, now that I've seen it, I would have regretted. I would have been mad at myself if I had waited until later on to watch this on Disney Plus. I'm glad I went and seen it. So stop listening to the naysayers. If you are a fan of Stitch, go and see it. Because the other great thing about going and seeing this movie today was all of the kids in the theater that I heard laughing. I even heard one little kid growling at her father, doing a Stitch impression, okay? And I was like, oh, the fair little chaos demon. Oh, so beautiful. There's a whole new generation that are now going to get to watch this movie and find the love of Stitch. And if they haven't seen the original, they can go with their parents and sit and watch it. This is the great thing about, it's not like 100% the best thing in the world. Obviously, the first movie is still going to be the best thing in the world, right? But it was still great enough that it's going to have all these kids loving it. It's not like some of the other remakes where you just look at it and go, what were they drinking? Like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. All you have to do is look at those CGI dwarfs and go, nope, doesn't work. Does not work. Snow White's hair, what the hell? I could not watch that. I could not sit and watch that movie. It was a disaster. This, on the other hand, go and fucking see it and stop listening to the TikTok reviews or whatever. Go and see it.